My course is set for an uncharted sea. Do not be afraid, our fate cannot be taken from us, it is a gift. The hottest places in hell are reserved for those who, in times of great moral crisis, maintain their neutrality. The path to paradise begins in hell. There is no greater sorrow than to recall a happy time when miserable. All hope abandon, ye who enter here. Remember tonight, for it is the beginning of always. In that book, which is my memory, on the first page of the chapter, that is the day when I first met you, appear the words, "Here begins a new life." The more a thing is perfect, the more it feels pleasure and pain. In the middle of the journey of our life, I found myself within a dark woods, where the straight way was lost. The devil is not as black as he is painted. The wisest are the most annoyed at the loss of time. Beauty awakens the soul to act. He who sees a need and waits to be asked for help is as unkind as if he had refused it. Love insists the loved loves back. There is no greater sorrow than to recall our times of joy in wretchedness. O human race, born to fly upward, wherefore at a little wind dost thou so fall? They yearn for what they fear for. Consider your origin. You were not formed to live like brutes, but to follow virtue and knowledge. Into the eternal darkness, into fire and into ice. The man who lies asleep will never waken fame, and his desire, and all his life drift past him like a dream, and the traces of his memory fade from time, like smoke in air, or ripples on a stream. A mighty flame follows a tiny spark. And we came forth to contemplate the stars. Through me you go into a city of weeping, through me you go into eternal pain, through me you go amongst the lost people. Nature is the art of God. There is no greater sorrow than to recall in misery the time when we were happy. Love, that moves the sun and the other stars. The day that man allows true love to appear, those things which are well made will fall into confusion and will overturn everything we believe to be right and true. No sadness is greater than in misery to rehearse memories of joy. From there, we came outside and saw the stars. Heaven wheels above you, displaying to you her eternal glories, and still your eyes are on the ground. Midway upon the journey of our life, I found myself within a forest dark, for the straightforward pathway had been lost. Lost are we, and are only so far punished, that without hope, we live on in desire. I felt for the tormented whirlwinds, damned for their carnal sins, committed when they let their passions rule their reason. There is no greater sorrow than to recall happiness in times of misery. As little flowers, which the chill of night has bent and huddled, when the white sun strikes, grow straight, and open fully on their stems, so did I too, with my exhausted force. In His will, our peace. For she doth make my veins and pulses tremble. Hope not ever to see heaven. I have come to lead you to the other shore, into eternal darkness, into fire and into ice. The love that moves the sun and the other stars. But the stars that marked our starting fall away. We must go deeper, into greater pain, for it is not permitted that we stay. Thus you may understand that love alone is the true seed of every merit in you, and of all acts for which you must atone. Now you know how much my love for you burns deep in me when I forget about our emptiness, and deal with shadows as with solid things. Because your question searches for deep meaning, I shall explain in simple words. I wept not, so to stone within I grew. But already my desire and my will were being turned like a wheel, all at one speed, by the love which moves the sun and the other stars. Thence we came forth to re-behold the stars. At grief so deep, the tongue must wag in vain, the language of our sense and memory lacks the vocabulary of such pain. I did not die, and yet I lost life's breath. As phantoms frighten beasts when shadows fall. I, answering in the end, began, alas, how many yearning thoughts, what great desire, have led them through such sorrow, to their fate. So that the universe felt love, by which, as some believe, the world has many times been turned to chaos. And at that moment, this ancient rock, here and elsewhere, fell broken into pieces. The experience of this sweet life. There, pride, avarice, and envy are the tongues men know and heed, a babel of despair. Fate's arrow, when expected, travels slow. We were men once, though we've become trees. Open your mind to what I shall disclose, and hold it fast within you. He who hears, but does not hold what he has heard, learns nothing. The poets leave hell and again behold the stars. In each fire there is a spirit, each one is wrapped in what is burning him. All things created have an order in themselves, and this begets the form that lets the universe resemble God. Justice does not descend from its own pinnacle. That which had pleased me once, troubled by spirit. The weapons of divine justice are blunted by the confession and sorrow of the offender. This mountain's of such sort that climbing it is hardest at the start, but as we rise, the slope grows less unkind. Now our minds are like smoke, then they shall be like fire.